said fly up towards you before her wail goes off. She took a move action to get within 30 feet of you.
Okay,
and she can fly. Yeah, I need that. Ooh.
Yeah.
And can we get a... So Daff and Toki are the only people standing. And I think it's time for initiative between Daff, Toki, and this isn't really going to end up being a problem for us.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Daff is going
that is Daff's turn. Polar Bear, Toki. Also, Mr. Mouton, could you roll into initiative somewhere? So death saving throws are going to be important.
Please kill this character.
No.
Nothing would bring me.
We're killing the Banshee, Moot.
Okay. I'm going to flip the Banshee.
If you can't see it, I will change that so you can. There we go.
Oh my god.
Wait a minute, this shouldn't have 2 bars. Yeah, half movement rate, and you got to spend half your movement to stand. So, as a rogue, you can bonus action dash, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so you can get there, no problem. He hits you with the 21. You will take 15 points of necrotic damage as your life fades from you. There's no physical wounds on your body, but you can feel sort of like the willingness to live has depleted from you. Daff, it is your turn.
Daff is gonna go to Lenny and cast Cure Wounds.
Excellent.
At level 2 again.
Lenny's up at 10.
I think real quick, I think
Daff, you can go ahead and make a saving throw against that frightened again.
I think my sneak attack damage does count as magical since it's
overcome this fear.
Quick question: in 2E, when you hit 0, do you have to do death saving throws? I can't remember. I thought it was
die.
Wait, what do you mean?
2E rules as written: 0 is dead. Game over.
Oh, sorry, I meant in 5.
Well, Toki lets out a sad roar and starts trotting back to the tent.
Yeah, back to
Toki,
the tent.
wait. Maybe you should dig around here. I don't know if that'll lead to anything, but dig where the grave was. Maybe there's something. Maybe we could put the spirit to rest.
Toki the polar bear does an eye roll as best as it could and starts digging.
Yeah, there's a body in the snow.
Oh, okay, alright.
About 3 feet down, there is the body of a woman here. And clasped in her arms is the frozen corpse of a wee babe.
Nevitz, we should... Can we...
You guys head back into your tent.
I'm going to use my second wind. Which is a D10?
D10 plus 1.
Yeah, that's right. Fight level. Thanks.
Wait, for what?
Second wind gives me HP. D10 plus 1. 1 for the fighter level.
Oh, yeah. We can roll our hit dice as well, right?
Yeah, the next day you can.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait.
Maybe I should have.
We can't. Can we roll it tonight as we sleep? When we go back to our tent?
And you do it after your short rest is over. So you do it in the morning.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I won't roll my second wind. Is that fine, or I can keep it if you want it?
Your call.
Well, it doesn't matter because your second wind
it, so
it recovers on a short rest anyway, so it doesn't matter. You'll have it the next day anyway.
Really? I thought it was long.
Nope.
Oh, okay. That's broken.
Okay. Okay. We're all good to sleep?
Okay. Yep. You guys can rest.
Jesus, Lenny. Okay.
Oh, Lenny one's all right. All right. You can try yours again, Steven. There you go.
Cool. Okay.
All right. By the end of that day, you are reaching the woods of South Grove. The snow gets a little easier to traverse. The storm dies down. And by evening, you will make it to hard-packed earth again. Kind of tundra-y earth here.
So has the body been defrosting?
No, you're still at about freezing temperatures. It's just a little less snow on the ground. But here you are.
I guess we'll keep going towards Solwick.
Well, should we bury the body
where are you
here?
going to bury the body is the question.
Well, I want it to defrost so we can see what's on it. And then maybe we can bury it in the correct location.
Well,
okay.
What do you mean?
You can spend one more night here and then push over to Solwick the next day.
Okay.
Yeah. You will be approaching from this side of the river, so you'll be basically running until you hit the river, walking alongside it until you hit the road. And some part through that day. How are you transporting the body, Lenny?
Sack of potatoes.
Oh, just like over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And then over
fine.
the day, as it starts out a rigid frozen body, and over the course of the day, it slowly bends over you. Yeah. And at a certain point, when it's thawed enough, and you're covered with freezing water running down your limbs and your chest, you notice the babe is getting a little loose in the arms, and I think that's the sign for you to do what you need to do.
Let's give it a proper burial.
We'll search it.
Yeah, you can go over the corpse now in good detail. You see that she doesn't have much. She's got a pair of sandals on. What looks to be some sort of maybe dressing gown. Nice, thick, warm blanket, though, as if someone took the care to do that one. Around her waist is just a simple cord to keep the gown tied to her. Toki, would you give me an investigation check and just you? Yeah, this is definitely a woman's dressing gown, like a noble woman's dressing gown. A bit of an older style and fashion, something these guys wouldn't know anything about. But you would recognize this is probably some wealthy woman and her baby who...
Whatever it is, that's sad.
You don't see any weapons on her. You don't see any bags of money. There's no loot. She does have a silver necklace around her with the symbol of Martha, goddess of life and creation, attached to it.
There's no
that's it.
I guess I'll search the baby's bundle. There's no letter or anything anything like that on her.
No.
And there's not a sigil. There's not anything recognizable in terms of what family she might be from.
It looks like she was just in the clothes that she was sleeping in, grabbed some sandals and a warm towel for the babe, as they usually do, with the body. They're a little concerned as you come in carrying the body of a woman and a baby, but no one would expect you to be murdering a woman and a baby and then haul them into town walls, right? Especially considering you look like you're traveling through the snowy areas and she doesn't look like a normal death. She has that bluish taint of someone frozen. So they respectfully let you in. You can head to the temples here with the graveyard out back. And the head cleric there will offer to give her a funeral, although asks you, who is she? Do you have a name that I can put on the grave?
We have no idea. We found this body buried out in the snow in the land of Etreia. Your guess is as good as ours. We were kind of hoping you could shed some light on that.
She does have a necklace that shows she was a follower of Martha. That's all we know.
She was a banshee when we found her.
Oh. That's terrible. She needs a proper rest, then. A proper place to pass on. It's good of you to bring her here. Lesser men would have taken her silver necklace for themselves.
Miss Toki, I think, said that she thought that she was a noble lady.
Yes.
Perhaps?
Yes.
Do you have any idea of someone we could ask? If any stories of people going missing, or no?
Not that springs to mind, but you could ask in town if you wanted. It'll take some time for the grave to be dug. One of our grave diggers can do it in a half day. Would you come back tomorrow and attend the funeral? As the only people to bring her here, you're the closest thing she has to family.
I'll look to Nevitz. Is that fine, Nevitz? Or...
Nevitz scratches the back of his head. Is that appropriate? We don't really know her. I guess if we must, we can.
She was a banshee, and I take it you slew her and brought her corpse all the way here. Don't you think you should see it through to the end?
I think we should stay for the funeral. Just one day.
Yeah, Nevin shrugs. Okay.
And then we'll go.
Okay. You can spend the rest of your day or night here in town, maybe a little more, made more awkward by the events that transpired. But this is a good moment for Daff to look at you guys and say, well, I think here's where we part our ways.
That does indeed seem to be the case, Daff. What is Daff holding?
I'm going to go to Bundundasir and take a ship home.
Yeah. Wait, what does Daff have on their character sheet? Just curious.
Some money, your botulism, some magic rocks, a key.
A key? What key?
It just says estate key. Yeah, no idea what estate it goes to, but there's an estate key on her sheet.
Wait, was this one of the did we do a really, really early mission a long time ago where we went to
It was the haunted house.
Yeah, the estate. We got the key for that. Oh, okay, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so
and 353 gold.
Yeah.
You're wonderful, Daff.
Daff could keep the gold. Daff, do you think I could have that bottle of botulism back? Might come in handy.
Oh yeah, I don't need this. That's gross. Yeah. A botulism, 72 hours, 0.5 weight.
Lenny will shake Daff's hands and thank him for saving him. And
sorry we got into a tuffle earlier.
No problem. Nevitz was antagonizing us.
Well, if you ever want, I know where we can get some great croissants.
Croissant?
Croissant?
I don't know. It sounds amazing.
Can you add
Come on back. We'll get you some croissants. And, we'll throw that party when you get there. The next time you come through Conwick.
Okay.
Bye, Daff.
Goodbye, Daff.
Don't forget, Daff. You got invited to the party by that noble lady. If you want to go there alone. I'd love to hear the tale when I get back to Cronwick one day.
I might do that. I gotta check up at home first. Bye, Toki. Thank you for all the things.
Toki gonna give Daff a little hug.
I always wish that was... See you later?
See you around, Daff.
Try not to, get into too much trouble.
Yep, same to you.
All right. And Daff goes off to leave town the next morning, leaving you guys in town for a few hours before the funeral.
Were we able to ask around yesterday?
Yeah, you can. Sure.
About the noble lady?
No one seems to know anything about a noble lady with her baby disappearing, which is strange. That would be big news. Yeah, a noble woman and her baby go missing and are never seen from again. That would be huge news. But there's nothing of that in living memory here. Level up in a new class if you don't want to continue taking levels in your own. As long as you have the requisite skills. So for a fighter, you'd need like 13 strength or dex. For a barbarian, you're taking the same amount of XP, so your progression will be the same, but you'll just be taking fighter 1, fighter 2 instead of druid 7, druid 8.
Okay, alright. Toki's gonna become a bard.
Time period, maybe it's made of an older style that wasn't like used contemporarily anymore.
Maybe we could visit like a sage or somebody who would know these things and then pay him to ask him.
You could visit like a tailor and have the tailor come see the body. Someone who wouldn't be up on clothing styles.
I guess.
That's about it. Otherwise, I don't know what a sage would do. Just be like... Rrr.
A tailor would... Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get a tailor.
Yeah. A tailor will come to the funeral with you. It seems like the only appropriate time to take a look at the body. And they will stand by quietly, making notes and observations. And after the body's interred in the ground, they will give you their analysis of the situation. But during the funeral, the high priest here looks to the three of you, notes Daff's disappearance, but doesn't mention it, and asks one of you to say some words over the body. You're the only people who
we found in the snow. We don't know what your past life must have been like, but it must have been difficult for us to find you in that condition. We can only hope that you achieve peace and wherever you choose to go from now on. May you rest in peace.
Okay. And the baby.
And
when he shouts.
the child.
All right. The diggers throw dirt on the box as it's lowered down, and the tailor comes to you and says, "Oh, it's certainly an older style. The way that it's bunched around the knees and the simple cord used to tie, that's an old style, maybe a couple 100 years old."
Oh, that okay.
From this region?
From Drekis, yes, the old Drekisian style. One of the old Drekisian styles.
Do you know someone who could tell us more about this time period?
Oh, I think any historian probably could. The capital would be the place with the most information on it, but I'm sure there's a sage or a historian or a lover of the past, maybe a bard around here that knows something.
Well, maybe it's time we bury this story with the body. You may never know who this girl is.
Was the necklace buried with her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You look disappointed, Mr. Mouton.
Do you want to steal from the corpse?
It's
I
a
didn't wanna
necklace of
steal.
Martha. What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, it was just like a... Yeah.
Just a thing.
Probably a +7 protection amulet, but, you know, what are you going to do?
Didn't protect her very well, did it?
Clearly not. But that's okay. Okay. That's okay.
Right.
I say we continue our journey to the capital to do some reading and research. Maybe pick up a 4th party member or something, if we feel we need one more, and then, yeah.
Okay. The body is buried. Daff has left the party. Why don't we take our break here, and when we come back, on to Wixthron Marenta.
All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Of Dice and Men. The party sets out from Solwick on to Thickleglade and on to Wixthron Marenta. It is about 100 miles to get there, so it'll take you probably about 5 more days to do.
Can we just hire a carriage and everything, or no? Do you guys not want to?
You want to hire a carriage? Make
No,
it easy?
let's
no
walk.
More counter checks?
Let's walk.
All right, we'll walk.
We need to be fighting more. Okay.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would get you to Wixthron Marenta. Okay. Towers, bells, close streets with double-stacked buildings all around them, a nice big wall around the place, a river on one side, a mountain next to it, wholly surrounded by forests. The guards here will take your weapons and armor as you come in, as a standard, giving you a little token so you can get them back on the way out. And you're in the capital. What would you like to do?
I think we're fine to split up. Lenny's gonna go and talk to Historian, if that's fine.
Historian?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
The body. I want to just ask about it. Just curious if anything's of it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of what we're doing for the rest of the episode, because I'm trying to think, like, if we were to roll in like a 4th person, I imagine we would probably get them from here, right? Theoretically, I guess we could
4th person could come from
pick
pretty
them
much
up.
anywhere.
Yeah.
The real question is, who do you want as a 4th person? This is an opportunity for you to recruit. You have a muscle, a spy, and a sage in your party. What are you missing? What would round you out?
Yeah, I think the person. I mean, can we say which person we're probably gonna go with?
Well,
let's worry about
rather than
in-character.
asking for a player,
in-character,
I'm asking you to define the character you want.
Yeah, I think we would probably want a wizard of sorts.
Okay.
Yeah.
A wizard
Yeah,
of
either a
sorts, like
wizard or a cleric.
or a sorcerer.
Like a
or something
sorcerer,
like that.
like a real ass
Magic.
cleric.
Cleric is very good.
Do clerics have fireball?
I guess
We're not getting a cleric. I want a goddamn wizard.
Okay,
I
now
want.
look at him. Now he's writing down no fireball for them. Thanks, Steven.
Stop. We want a real ass battle wizard. We don't have any offensive magic at all. We don't have any range at all, right? Do we? No, we don't.
No.
Nevitz has got a short bow.
Fuck that.
It's not real range.
I have more spells now.
And I can't carry the short bow or any arrows, so no, I don't have a short bow. Toki has more spells.
So you're just down to Toki's spells.
Yeah.
That's your only ranged attack then.
And she can't, like,
and,
transform.
Lenny's javelins.
Yeah.
I don't even think I have javelins.
So it's just Toki's spells. Yeah, you got no range. So you want a ranged spellcaster, an offensive ranged spellcaster.
Yes. That's what I want.
We want a wizard.
We want a wizard. But...
All right.
But more importantly, or I guess aside from necessarily looking for recruiting a member, I asked you about this yesterday.
Nature of your research.
Okay, hold on. I have a notepad somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna type all of this exactly into the Discord. Okay.
Perfect.
What are you guys gonna do? You two.
Downtime.
So we have a really big mission ahead of us. We've got, I think, 5-ish different objectives. We've got bridges we need to destroy. We've got an armory that we need to render useless somehow. We need to spread disinformation, which we'll acquire from the Megari person before we go out. We need to investigate the relationship between Scoria, the dragon, and King Gilda of Mystria. And then we need to figure out or establish on the periactive health instead.
Can you add research on rust monsters to your...
That's one of the things that I have is research on monsters from Mystria. Just all the general,
Yeah. We're trying to... I think a good idea is like a rust monster and putting it in the armory, and then it'll just take care of everything.
Oh, that's actually a super sick idea.
Yeah. The one thing I'm wanting to know about
idea
is if we can put the rust monster in the bag of holding, so that's how we can carry him around. I don't know.
So the problem with the rust monster in a bag of holding is if it has claws, it might pierce the bag.
Can it really do that in like a Oh, I guess
you can't do it like inside the bag of holding.
I feel like it couldn't.
No, not in it, but maybe on its way in. Wait, right? You can't destroy a bag of holding from inside. No.
If you were to like thrust a spear through a bag of holding, you know, like a 30-foot spear, so you could reach the end for sure, you could easily rupture it from the inside.
I thought you were putting it into like a dimensional
it's extra
portal,
dimensional. Yeah, it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, like a TARDIS. But there are still walls to that. There are still physical borders. It's just extra dimensional space within.
What? How big are rust monsters?
Medium-sized creatures.
So like a human?
Yeah, like a person size or a large dog size.
How big can that bag open?
Small donkey
is it
size.
A 4-foot diameter?
Like 3 or 4 feet.
2 foot by 4 feet. You would need to sedate the creature. There's no way you're gonna get a living free rust monster in there. That'd be like trying to corner a bobcat and put a burlap sack over its head.
Well, what I'm curious about is like if it's a 2x4 thing, we could literally construct a box for the bag, put a rust monster in the box that's like a cage, and then put the cage in the bag.
There you go.
Yeah, make sure that. Oh yeah, obviously you're gonna research that. We just need to know if rust monsters like are gonna die if they don't eat for like 4 days or.
Sure.
But I think that's a good way to deal with the fucking armory.
Okay, yeah.
And then Lenny was gonna go to the historian, and if need be, go capture or go buy anything that Nevitz needs, stuff like that.
What do I do?
If you would want to come to the historian with me, you'd probably be better at talking than Lenny would.
I'll go with Lenny then.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lenny and Toki go to see this historian while Nevitz figures out the things he needs to learn. And you guys can search around the town until you can find someone who is knowledgeable about the history of this country, this nation, this kingdom, and go and knock on their door. The door will answer, and an old man, a very old man, opens the door and says, "Yes, can I help you?"
We had a few questions. We found a lady in Atreya, and she was wearing very old, noble garments with a baby. We were wondering if you ever heard any legends of a noble lady gone missing or something.
You would like to speak to the historian, then?
Yes, sorry that I thought you were him. Very ageist.
No, it happens all the time. Please come in. I'll see if she has time for you. And the old man will like slowly hobble at an uncomfortably slow pace into the building and be pointed in the direction of the sitting room, a parlor here. It's quite small. It's got like a semicircular chair with soft cushions on it, and a little table in the middle with some glasses and a pitcher of water prepared as if this is always sitting out here. The glasses are upside down so no dust gets in them. The room is small. It's got some crimson curtains that are pulled shut, giving it
glass would be
darkened
rare,
look.
Right or no?
Yeah, glass would be difficult to come by. Actual glassware to drink out of would be expensive.
Lenny will play with it.
You should make him do a dex check to see if he drops it.
I'm fine with that.
That's what I was considering.
Yeah, he should drop it on like a 1 to 3 or something.
Can I do a dex saving throw?
Have you guys seen the "This is what it's like going to the bathroom in D&D" meme?
Yes.
The guy walks out and he rolls a D20, rolls a 1, pisses all over himself. Yeah, I can't let the world be like every time you come into a potential situation for disaster, you ruin it.
Okay, he's fine.
All right, he's fine. He's fine. You play with the glasses. They're see-through and yet hard, and they tink and make fun noises when you clack on them.
Yeah, it's breaking my mind.
15 minutes later. Long wait, really. The door opens, and in steps a woman with multicolored hair and a multicolored shawl draped over her shoulders. Underneath, she's wearing, regular, sort of bland clothing. And the shawl's like kind of wrapped tightly over her shoulders and across her neck. And she looks at the two of you with distant eyes through thick spectacles and says, "You're the ones asking about a missing woman?"
That is us.
Yes.
Well, my rate is 10 gold an hour.
What?
Yep. And if questions require research, the hours stack up while I work on it.
Is that fine, Miss Toki?
10 gold. Okay, sure. That's what you want, Lenny.
Yes, we
Splendid.
accept.
She sits, her servant pulls out a chair for her, and she sits opposite of the semicircular couch. Please.
Yeah, we'll sit there. And I will regale every little detail to her about the banshee, where we found it, the woman, the baby. I'll ask Toki to regale the outfit, the Martha necklace, where we buried her. Yeah.
She nods along with this and makes some notes in a small scratch pad. Question. One dead person living 100 and something miles away from here, or found 100 miles something away from here, frozen in the snow. She could be from any period in time, from last year or 1,000 years ago.
Well,
the snow keeps bodies very well preserved.
We kind of know the time period because of her outfit. And then I'll recant what we found with the tailor. I don't know if that helps you anymore, but...
It does. It narrows it down quite a bit, actually. That's quite useful. But there are thousands of villages, dozens of towns.
Missing noble lady. It's probably pretty rare. Near Atreya.
If this is something you really wish to look into, I will look into it. But yes. I will need a retainer up front because this will take some time.
I will pull out one fine jewelry and ask Miss Toki if this is okay.
That's the as a retainer. 500 gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a
the job, you tell me how many hours you spent, and then you give me back the difference, basically.
Correct.
You do get back the difference? It's not just a...
yeah.
Okay.
We're not just giving her 500 gold to find out what she knows.
Right. Otherwise, that would be called a scam.
So how is a retainer just synonymous with a deposit, then?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Yep. She will take it and say, I will need to reach out to contacts, come back in a couple of weeks. I clearly won't be billing you for every hour within that time, just the time that I write and read and whatnot. and for any fees associated with the sending of these things, which should be small. So next time you're in town, or if you live here in a couple of weeks,
we'll be here for a while.
Come back and I'll have an answer.
Okay.
Splendid. Come again. And you are escorted gently out of the building. All right, Nevitz, you...
Okay, so this is what I have of what I want to do. So number one is I want to find like an engineer or somebody that like constructs bridges basically, and ask them questions about like if I want to do like hunts or whatever for food or whatever. I'm sure that there must be some people that have hunted in the lands of Mystria or heard about creatures in the land of Mystria. Maybe a bestiary or some guy would find something like that, would know more about that. I'm just curious what kind of monsters generally roam those lands, what precautions will we need to take against said monsters. Is it unique or different than this land? The third one would be a question for a cleric. Will a periapt of health generally maintain the health? How is your leadership structure basically? Fifth would be like some sort of like bestiary guy that would know a lot about like ancient large monsters. So Scoria, like how does Scoria live? What are the habits of her? What's been reported in terms of like what does her lair look like? How does she live? If she communicates with subjects, do they go to a second area? Do they go to the main area? Stuff like that. And then the final person I'd want to talk to would be like a cartographer or like a
forward. Let's start with the engineer. Now, you can get some easy answers from this guy. The one problem with talking to the engineer is when you go to someone who builds bridges and you say, hey, how do I destroy bridges? That tends to set them off guard. So you need to find a way to, not sound like a terrorist. Yeah. So how would you get this information out of this person without sounding like you're going to go around burning bridges within the kingdom? Because essentially you're going to flight school and saying, don't worry, I don't need to learn how to land.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of that. I was kind of hoping you just wouldn't ask me that. The easiest way would be to approach somebody and would be... So I own, off the capital, there's a trade route between two cities. And there's like a small river, a very small river that runs between these. And I need to expand the bridge in this river. I don't have a lot of money for it.
You can just set it on fire and then don't put it out. Then it'll burn. And if it starts to go out, then you set it on fire again. You know?
I'm sure you're aware that...
easily.
Yeah, of course. Especially these days, as crazy as the world is, it seems as though there's a lot of people that are out and about doing crazy things to bridges. If I wanted to protect a bridge against fire... I mean, what would I do? What are the most vulnerable points in a bridge that I'd have to be worried about some knowledgeable burglar coming by and destroying my bridge with...
Going enough for the flames to really take it on. But then once it's on fire, then it's on fire, right? Unless some wandering wizard puts it out or something. You want to take the time to prepare it, of course. The key is the struts, right? So you either have a flat bridge that just sits on either side with nothing holding it up, or you've got a bridge with pylons holding it. It's pretty much the only two types of bridges we build here. So if the structural supports are gone, then the bridge fails. So I would say if it's a long bridge, I don't know how big yours is, and you got columns running through it, start a fire in the middle of the pylons. So hopefully when the river's dry that it spans, or the chasm's dry that it spans, or whatever. And then if you can burn those central supports, then, well, even if the whole bridge will like burn out from the middle out. If you start a fire on one side, it'll slowly progress, and if it gets put out, then you'll have to start again. It's just easier to burn from the middle outward.
Gotcha.
And from the bottom up. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think to keep my bridge safer, does anybody ever reinforce these struts with iron or something?
Oh, well, a good bridge will be made of stone, not wood. Too expensive to make out of iron.
Wood, right? Or at least that's what was told to us, right?
Yeah, you've been given an image of them.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's all I need for that.
Oh. Okay. Next question. Monster Hunters. Find out about the general monsters in Mystery. Okay, I'm going to open up my overly complicated monster maps, and this will take me a while, so let's skip that one. Would a periapt of health maintain health in a similar way as an amulet of health?
Yeah, I'd basically just go to a cleric. I'd say I have a sick cousin. We borrowed an amulet, basically, that was in the family for a long time that's supposed to maintain health, but that amulet needs to be returned to another family. However, we have another family that's willing to lend us another amulet temporarily called a Periapt of Health. Would this amulet be sufficient to keep my cousin alive, or do you think he'll fall
Cleric
into...
looks deep into your eyes, and she puts a hand gently on your shoulder and says, "Sometimes we aren't meant to live. One of these is not the same as the other. And it seems like you are desperately trying to keep someone who was fated to die a long time ago alive. It's best to just let them go. These will not... You can't keep someone alive indefinitely with magic. That's not a good way."
Huh, okay. Nevid shrugs his shoulders and says, okay, and then leaves. Okay, I'm good on that then. International historian. There's got to be... This has to be so easy. I'm sure these people never get to talk about their shit, so they'll be excited if somebody asks about their boring-ass field of expertise, like a librarian or somebody that studies, like, international diplomacy or relationships or something, like a local college. I don't even know if these would exist in this timeline, actually, or in this period.
Well, if you ask around, you will find out that there is one elf who has sort of, I wouldn't say abandoned the elven lands, but tends to hang out amongst the human lands. He's thousands of years old. He would be an expert on all things international because he is traveling around.
Okay.
You could ask him.
Yeah, can I go knock on his door?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Still looking for my monster map. Hold on. Here it is. Yeah, the party, or I guess just you at this point, can go find Jean-Pierre Kisset. And you will find the elf in the wealthy noble district here in town. He made out of various trees because you can see root systems coming off of the house. So the walls of the house are trees, but then like on the outside around it are stone columns and like a shingled roof. So he's mixing human and elven woodworking styles here and stoneworking styles.
Okay.
The gate is open, but there is a sign that dangles out front that says, "To my enemies, please be gone. The way is trapped. To my friends, welcome in. To my lovers." And then it just stops.
Gotcha. Can I look inside? Do there appear to be any obvious traps that I could notice?
Just a nice cobblestone path that runs up the middle towards a building. There's a creek that runs across the yard and goes under.
Appear to be any...
No, it doesn't appear to be trapped.
Okay, I guess could I just trot up the path to the front door?
Mm-hmm. You walk up the path to the front door, and as you step onto the porch, the door opens before you, and there are a pair of young human women who give you a deep bow and motion you into the building. You see this front hallway is wood, but not like planks of wood, just like a sprawling wood, almost as if you could make plywood in the olden days or whatever, covered with a red velvet carpet and a glass table with flowers on the middle. There are sweeping staircases that run up either side to the second floor, big double doors down on the ground level, and a series of rooms off to the side with glass windows framing this entire section, which would be behind you once you step in.
Okay, very nice place. Thank you for showing me. Do you know where the half-elf is that lives here? Elven or half-elf?
Full elf.
Full elf.
Jean-Pierre Kisset.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course, this is his residence. He is here right now.
Do you think, could I ask him just a few questions about what he might know about suitors of my kind? Although I'm flattered, can I just speak to him, please, about the, Nevid scratches his head. I just want to speak to him about some, very boring foreign relations stuff. It's nothing as exciting as being a suitor, I promise.
They pause and look at each other for a moment and like huddle for a brief, and then the red-headed one says, "Of course. Why don't you come and wait in the servants' hall with us then?" And she will lead you back past some like fancy rooms through all these closed doors. You see these nice redwood panelings, large paintings of half-elves everywhere, just half-elves paintings all over the place. Before leading you back into what appears to be like a cozy little servants' quarters where they might share a meal or something. You can hear distant harp music kind of coming from somewhere in the house, but you're not quite sure. And some voices. It sounds like there's other people around on sides of walls in some of these other rooms. And the servants will sit and bring you some bread and some cheese. And the first one, the redheaded one, will say, and what? Pray tell, no, I'm not trying to pry, but we don't very often get visitors here asking about international relations. What's up?
Nevid's kind of like looks a little bit embarrassingly down to the ground. I don't really want to get too much into it, but I've heard that there are certain court positions that one could possibly study into, and I thought that it would be impressive if I could expand some of the knowledge I had of other kingdoms around the world. I've learned so much about the lands of Drekis here that I thought that maybe studying Mystria would give me a leg up on any other possible people that would be vying for some of these court positions.
I see. Well, His Majesty can help you with that, of course. I'm sure. He's been around longer than anyone. He knows just about everything there is to know, I think.
Yeah, then, I mean, I would love to have a chance to pick his brain. Cool.
They'll wait with you until he is ready to see you, and then they will bring you to a different room. It's a cozy-looking room. It's got 3 fireplaces, one on this wall, one on that wall, one on that wall, and the 4th wall has a large heart-shaped bed with fluffy pillows and cozy blankets. And you can sit at one of the, Shea lounges nearby. The servants will bring you in, and a few minutes later, Jean-Pierre will walk in. His hair is tousled. His, his leather jacket is sort of open down to the sternum. His tight leather pants look like they've just been recently tied back on. He's not even wearing any shoes. He tosses his white hair as he steps in the room and says, "Oh, the halfling! It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. I am Jean-Pierre. What can I do for you?"
Jean-Pierre, I hear you're a man of many talents. Today, I am only here to ask you a few simple questions. I'm curious what you know of Mystria. Is that a land you've spent a lot of time in? Do you think you know a lot about the lands of Mystria? Or maybe more specifically, maybe the way that their monarch is structured?
These days, things are different, but I can tell you how it was in the days of old. I've not been there in quite some time. That place has grown depressing. Very depressing. It's not at all the fun place to be. I think my last jaunt there was 60 years ago?
60 years ago. Things certainly haven't changed that much. At least, how about we talk first about the lay of the land? What do you know of any strange, any underground tunnels or any fantastic winding? And it seems as though you're well-traveled. I'm sure you'd love to share some of these stories with me, no? Otherwise, perhaps another type of deal can be arranged.
Let's hear the other types.
Well, you seem to be a man of many talents. I notice that you have quite a few women around your walls here. All of them seem to be lacking. I'm sure that noble flair you're probably missing a bit in your life. Do you get around very much with some of the upper-class ladies around here, or are they a bit out of your reach?
I get around. These are my offspring.
Your offspring?
Mm-hmm.
What if
I've never married.
Of course. What if I told you, what if I could promise you a night with a fantastic noble lady? Not just any noble lady, but a druidic one as well.
Did I consent?
You're about to get a lot of
I
trouble,
would
Steve.
tell you that I can get that whenever I want.
Really? Even into the,
I mean, I'm an elf. Who do you think the best druids are?
I mean, you're not the only elf
If I
around
want a
here,
woman
no?
that acts like a wildcat, I'll just head home.
Well, if I can't tempt you with women, I can't tempt you with the fun and excitement of just sharing a story with a halfling. The only other thing I have to offer you is gold. Do you tell stories for a price?
I mean, I can, but I'd rather spend my time doing something else. This world has so much to offer. There are so many great things to do. Wouldn't you say? Why waste it just telling the same old stories and collecting money that piles up and piles up?
Now that is true. Great deal in exchange for it. Can I ask a question? Do STDs exist in this world?
Oh my god. You're about to get up?
Yes.
Now,
could I get my hands on yours?
Well, I mean, originally I came here to trade either a date or two with a friend or some gold. Obviously, I'm not generally willing to part ways with a magical item so easily, so I'm sure we're both aware that it's very hard to come by these things. So I would need a great deal of very captivating information to consider this trade. Do you think you'd have enough to offer me that I'd be willing to part with my amulet so easily?
My dear friend, I could tell you stories from now until the day you die and still not share everything I know about the world.
I understand that, but I'm sure that you know a ton of information that I could care less about as well, right? I'm looking for a very particular type of information for a very particular type of journey I intend on taking.
The layout of Mystria, its flora and fauna, the underground rivers, that sort of thing.
These would be nice. This would be good information. Be a good start. Depending on how much you know, maybe it'd be a good start. What do you think of the modern day monarch that rules that family? As you know, they've been working with a dragon recently. Do you know how they would communicate with said dragon?
First, if you want me to show you mine, you must show me yours.
Whip it out.
I agree. I don't have the amulet on me at this present time, or with the amulet. Let me ask you before I take my leave and return. You wouldn't happen to have any of this information or could get any of this information onto a map of sorts, could you? You could tell me for days the entire layout of Mystria. I don't know how much I'd be able to put that to an actual scene in front of me, though, without some piece of parchment.
Sure. For an amulet, a periapt, let's call it, of protection, of health, of fortification, I would happily hand over one of my many old maps and help you scribble on it to keep your notes straight.
Okay. I will take my leave, and I'll be back within an hour or two. Let me find my friend that I have. It's safeguarding this amulet for me, and then we will talk then. Does that sound okay?
Fantastic. I hope...
That seems like it would be quite expensive to buy estates like this across multiple towns, but I can understand.
Well, I just mean have the awkward conversation the next day, or the next week.
Can't you tell them they were kissed by elven fire or something? I'm sure a man like you could make up some sort of story to save himself.
I've tried a few here, true there. My experience, it's best to love brightly for but a single night and then never meet again.
Okay, well, Nevid stands. I'll be back within a couple hours, okay?
Splendid, my dear chap.
Okay.
Hurry along.
Nevid leaves. I'm gonna go. I'm sure there's like a tavern we're staying at if we're here for a week, so I'll go and wait there for Lenny to return.
And they have soap where you can wash out your eyes and ears. Yeah.
Why do I need to wash out my eyes and ears?
Talking to this guy?
Maybe Nevid enjoys that. What do you mean that's my I'm a halfling. I'm not a fucking elf or a half elf. Are we all the same to you, Lenny?
Yeah.
No, okay, Lenny would like to. Or I'm sorry, Nevid's is waiting for Lenny.
I don't have it.
You don't. What do you mean you don't have it? You ripped it off of her or him?
Toki has it.
Okay, then I'll wait for Toki to return.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing
the
it.
one magic item we gave to Toki.
That one item that I have.
Yep.
Okay, I'm waiting. Waiting at the tavern for Toki to return.
I'm so happy you gave me this necklace. I always wanted my own. I've been feeling a little left out from, you guys' shenanigans and stuff. So this really made me feel included. Thank you so much.
Miss Toki, that necklace makes you look beautiful.
Thank you so much, Lenny. I actually feel appreciated for once.
Wow. Well, that's something, but you're shimmering with so much beauty, LilyPichu. I didn't even notice the amulet next to such a wonderfully illustrious face that you have there. Nevid looks down to the ground. Can we go up to our room and chat for a minute about that necklace, Toki?
Okay, sure.
Nevitz paddles his way up the stairs. With,
Can I come, Nevitz? I'll
Of
make
course
no
you
trouble.
can, Lenny.
Lenny,
I lead
well-
Lenny.
I'll make no trouble, I swear.
I hold Lenny's hand and lead him upstairs as well.
Okay,
Thank you, Miss Toki.
we're up in our room.
We're a team
Okay.
together, guys.
Okay, so one of the problems that we have is we seem to be taken by surprise in every area we go. And more than one time, this has almost cost us our lives. I'm sure we'd all agree, yes?
I was almost raped by goblins, so yes.
Okay. Geez. Yeah, so I think it would be very good in preparation for our next adventure to try to gather as much information as possible so that we can go in fully prepared for what we're going to be doing. Do we agree?
I agree, Nevitz.
So
You're leading up to something.
They
Yes.
might say you're a halfling, but you have a full brain.
Well, thanks.
Aw, isn't that cute?
Thanks. Yeah, I agree. I've been gathering information around the city. I believe I have good information about how we ought to destroy the bridge in a pretty reliable manner. I'm trying to find out more information about the overall layout of Mystria. I think it would be incredibly helpful if we knew intimately maybe of any underground tunnels or any type of, secret passages around those lands that might help us navigate a little bit easier, and maybe underground without being spotted by Mystrian troops, or anybody trying to spot spies. Now,
That would be very useful.
yes, it would be very useful, Nevitz. That is right. That is correct.
I would give up anything
Lenny.
for that.
Yes. Okay. Anything, Lenny. Nice. Very smart. I agree. We
Even
ought to
my
give up.
shield.
Even your shield, Lenny. Now, let's not give up that shield, Lenny. I have a proposition that's been made to me by an elf in this city, Jean-Paul Pierre or something. Now, Toki, you are just the shimmering perfection of health. And I think...
Toki is like, get on with it, cut the bullshit. What the fuck do you want?
That
Toki-
might work on Lenny, but not me.
Toki, you don't need that fucking amulet, and this motherfucker needs it to prevent his crotch from fucking rotting off, okay?
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
It's my
I'm
first
serious.
magical item and you're gonna take it away from
Okay, Toki, well, if you don't want to do that, then you can be the party leader, and you can go headfirst into Mystria, into every single battle and every single encounter, and you can try to figure out the optimal way of doing it.
You're just guilt tripping me.
No, I'm not guilt tripping you at
felt
all.
like-
I'm giving you an option, Toki. If you want, you can lead the party all around Mystria, and you can figure everything out. You're a druid, right? You know nature, you know land. Maybe you can find all the hidden fucking
You're
tunnels.
giving me the illusion of options, when in reality, I don't really have an option, do I?
Well, no, it's actually
He's
plenty
gonna
your
be
option.
Really disgruntled and take off the necklace.
Nevitz holds his hand out.
Throw it at him, Toki.
No, that's not dignified. I gently place it on the little halfling's open palm.
Thank you very much, Toki. Okay, so what I'm going to try to get from this guy are maps that give us an overall layout of Mystria and any secret places we might need to know about. Can you think of anything else I could ask this elf? In exchange for our item, we're giving up a magical amulet. It's pretty impressive, so if you guys can think of anything, now would be the time to let me know. Lenny, you seem to have an unusual amount of good ideas over the past couple weeks. Do you have any ideas
Yes.
that are coming into that brain now? What's up?
Maybe. Now, he's not going to know anything about Scoria's lair, but he might know something about another dragon's lair. Maybe if dragons have secret entrances, da-da-da-da. He's an elf after all. I'm sure he's heard stories from his family. Or maybe he might know some weakness to dragons being an elf or something along those lines.
Okay.
He also may have something on someone in Mystria. Maybe someone high up now. He might have a favor that they owe him, and for this magic item, maybe we could redeem on it.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
Or his
this
enemies, yeah.
Anything else?
bridge, like, confirmed wooden, or...?
We do know that it is a wooden bridge. They told us that, yes.
Okay. I feel like that won't be hard to burn.
Nope.
It's just a bridge.
Especially not now with our fire-breathing potions.
I also have a fire spell, just FYI.
Oh, that's strange. I've never seen you utter such a spell before, Toki.
I tried to say it multiple times last session, and to me, it's Flaming Sphere. I actually said it like twice this session too, but I think I was drowned out.
Wow. Well, that's
By
good
our
to know,
love.
Toki. That's really good. As you acquire more
No
useful
problem.
magics,
I
maybe we'll
can-
be able to do
yeah,
more
a
with our...
sphere, a 5-foot diameter sphere of fire. That is the spell.
Wow. Impressive. Okay. Well, we'll keep that in mind. All right. Anything else before I head back to our slutty elven friend?
Do you need me to go and capture anything? Did you hear more about the rust monster, maybe, since that was the first place you visited?
Not yet, but this is still our first or second day here, I imagine. So we've got time. I'll be looking into it. If you want, Lenny, actually, that can be your job. You can go and try and find a... Actually, you'd even look more the part. You look like a hunter, man. Tell somebody that you're off to try and capture some rust monsters or something. See if you can find some information about it. Maybe Toki can go with you. Maybe you can talk together.
Yeah, and I will recant the knowledge of the historian and tell him what we gave up for it.
Wait, which? About the lady or whatever?
Yeah, and we gave her a fine piece of jewelry and everything. And
okay. Do you think, Lenny, could I have... How many of those gems do we have left?
We have 20 pieces of fine jewelry.
20 pieces of fine... So that's approximately 10,000 gold or 100,000 gold?
10.
10,000 gold.
Each is 500, right?
Okay. Do you think...
Item.
Oh, well, that'll just depend on what it is, Toki, okay?
Do you want the shield, Toki? Here. Take it.
No, I want the next one. The next new one. I want a new one.
If you think about it, this is kind of for you, this shield, because it prevents people from shooting
I will
you
no longer be gaslighted by the party.
We have a... What did we get? We got a bag of holding, a magic shield, a protection fire. Technically, Lenny got all the magic items from the last thing.
Yeah,
so.
I really
wow, Lenny's really rocking out with it. Okay, all right, cool. Thank you very much. I'll take this amulet, and I will be back. We'll report back here tonight. We'll find out what we find. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry he did that to you, Miss Toki.
I really thought I felt really included for once. I felt more like less about the necklace and more about the symbolism the necklace held. But it's okay, I'm used to disappointment, Lenny. Let me just retire to my room early and think about my life for a sec.
Well, I'm going to go and see if we can find about the rust monster. You want to retire or do you want to come?
Actually, I'll go with you. Might be good to take my mind off of some things.
Yes.
I wish I was closer with Nevitz, Lenny. I don't think we ever really got along.
Nevitz may have full brain, but half of emotions of a real man.
I completely agree with you.
Only the
With
anger.
half a heart or something.
Yes. But
Well,
that's why we
maybe
love him.
Love is a strong word.
I love it.
I know you do, Lenny. I can see.
He taught me to read some.
Let's go research some rust monsters, Lenny.
I'll hold Toki's hand and we'll go.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to go out. I would like to go out to the elf guy again. Before I go there, I want to make one other step first. Koibu, can you check your DMs? And then I want to go to the other guy.
Don't hide it from the party.
What?
Why are you doing that?
I'm just asking.
You're acting.
I'm not.
Good,
You're acting
Steve.
cringe. You're being
Not
cringe right
good.
now. You're being fucking cringe. Okay.
Not good, Steve. Yeah, just DM each other.
Secret memes, huh? You know, Lenny, Mr. I'm gonna...
You're gonna DM me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm DMing you. I'm DMing you right now.
Ooh, no. Oh my god, that is a juicy information, Toki.
Okay, shut the fuck up. All right, I want to go back to the Jean guy. We can figure this on a break or whatever. It's fine.
Sure, we'll figure it on a break.
Okay.
You head back to Jean-Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
You are brought back into the house, escorted by the pair of women. They bring you back to that same room with 3 fireplaces and the big heart-shaped bed and the fluffy cushions and everything. The harp music still plays from other parts of the house. You can hear laughter as if there's some sort of a party game going on next door in the room next to yours. And eventually, Jean-Pierre comes back in and sees the 3 of you. Is a little surprised that you've multiplied.
No, only Nevitz
No,
is
just
going.
me.
We are going to the... Yeah.
Talk to a beast man.
Oh,
or
you guys are
something.
going to the other thing. Sorry. Sees the one of you and says, my fine friend with what I assume are impeccable feet. Have you brought it here?
Wait, yeah. is that like a... can we perhaps move back into a room and begin to discuss our exchange of information?
Yes, but if you would excuse me just one moment, he says, and he reaches into his bag at his side, pulls out some dust, speaks a word, and sprinkles the dust over the necklace, which produces a red light from it now. Satisfied, he sits back and says, please, let us discuss our business here in this comfortable room of mine.
Yeah. Oh, wait, did he just test the amulet for magic, basically?
I think that's a good assumption.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, well, so then I guess I showed him the necklace and everything. Yeah, okay, then as we sit in the room, so you said that you could give me maps of Mystria, correct?
I have many such things. Of course.
He didn't recognize the amulet perchance, did he?
He didn't seem to. He sprinkled something over it to test if it was magic. Yeah. He wouldn't do that if he recognized it, right?
I'm trying to remember where we got this amulet from. Plays. If like the story that he gave was supposed to line up with how we came across the amulet. But it's
I don't remember how we got it.
We stole it?
You stole it in Cronwick.
From who?
Wait, why?
The woman, you remember there was the ghost of the old man, and you defeated him, and then during the dinner party, you looted the house.
Well, she was losing the house anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh.
It doesn't really matter.
Oh wait, yeah, because she was trying to scam that dude anyway. She wasn't even nobility. She was a commoner. Fuck her. Okay, I don't care anymore. Okay, gotcha. Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. So you said you had maps of Mystria that you could produce for me, Matt? Yes?
Yes. He goes to the door, opens it, whispers a word on the other side. You hear a laughter and a giggle. And he comes back in and says, Rosalind will bring it for us shortly.
Okay. What can you tell me about how you might think
a dragon meet with a person to have a discussion?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose they would sit face to face.
Do dragons make a habit of just flying into towns? Or do you think this man walks on foot to some lair to have a conversation?
It is one of the two. Either the dragon flies into the castle, transforms into a more suitable appearance, and speaks with people, or they make the dangerous trek across the Wormwood to her lair.
This is something that escaped me. So dragons can shapeshift. What other kind of... I suppose Scoria
Some can. Scoria certainly can. And let me tell you, her shape is fine.
Can she go invisible as well? Are there any other ways she has of concealing herself?
She's a spellcaster. She can be invisible. She can polymorph. She can fly. She can breathe horrid fire. And she can squeal like a little bunny.
Do you have personal encounters of Scoria, as you seem to be implying?
There was a time once.
A time once. Interesting.
Once upon a time.
Does Scoria still fancy meeting random suitors? Does that happen still?
Oh, no. This was a long time ago. Back when she was just a little wormling learning her first polymorph spell. I doubt she would remember me at all. Well, that's probably not true. She has been wrecking my home side. Burning the towns, the forests. I think she was heartbroken, and this is her wrath. But what can I say?
Interesting.
I think a lot of myself.
And what know you of the monsters that roam the lands of Mystria? Are they far different than the ones we find here in Drekis?
More or less the same. Different kinds, but same types. Lots of ogres. A few giants in the Laconish Highlands. Goblins in the Ironbark Grove. The King's Forest is kept free of monsters, and that's seen to it. Stagwood is also fairly monster-free. Wester Bluff crawls with all sorts of creatures. Same with the Weeping Bog and Muckwood.
And I imagine that you'll probably have this written conveniently on the map for me, yes?
Yes, when Rosalind brings it in, I will start to write it on the map for you.
Okay.
And I guess I will just doodle on... We have trolls and ogres and orcs over here. Let's see. Where is... You also have... So, generally speaking, the Laconish Highlands are the most dangerous part of Mystria. minus the dragon and Rainwood Reach and the Wormwood and the dragon-related things, the Laconish Highlands are where all the scary things are, which is where all the people are not. You can find the occasional basilisk there, even.
If me and my friends wanted to take an adventure through the lands of Mystria, do you think the dragon or the royalty in general that have any kind of wider spells cast that might reveal us? If we were to
not on the whole countryside, no.
Okay.
Certainly not.
Scoria's
that would take immense power, and you would be able to perhaps see it with a detect magic spell quite easily.
Okay, and then you made an illusion that there may be some sort of hidden underground lake or tunnel system that runs across parts of these lands.
Sun Lake, most people don't know, is connected to Lake Edric, which is also connected to Moon Lake, but not Sunken Lake nor Star Lake. Those are separate, as far as I understand.
Sun Lake is connected to which lake?
Lake Edric and Moon Lake. He will point out on the map. Sun Lake is connected to this lake, connected to that lake.
Is this by way of underground passage, or?
Yes, it is. Underground passage in which live the most interesting type of, I guess sea elf is not the right term, freshwater elf, perhaps? A small race of people who live well beneath the seas, well beneath the lakes, I should say, preferring to keep to their channels. Their features are white, their eyes are blind, they live in the dark, and they live in the sea. I don't really see elf is what you might understand them to be, but let's make no mistake, they're not very closely related to elves at all.
Okay. Are they a friendly people, or do you think they'd aggressively attack?
Absolutely not, no.
They would attack friendly. Unprovoked?
Yeah, blind creatures. Someone comes into their home, which no one else ever goes into. It stirs them up a little bit. They're not animals. They're people. Please, they have their own language. You would need a comprehend language spell, a tongues spell. Not the fun tongues spell, but the bland tongues spell.
I understand.
Have you ever played with the fun tongue spell?
Personally, I haven't. Those are the types of adventures that I go on.
Summons a bed of tongues. Imagine it. Hundreds of them everywhere. Wherever you roll, there they are.
That sounds like it would be an amazing amount of fun for the life of a man that spent most of his times within the city walls, but that is not what I'm after. Thank you very much. You mentioned...
You're not much of a slut, are you?
I don't partake in those activities as much, no.
The gods giveth pleasure to us, and we deny ourselves. Why you people are so uptight, I will never know, but so be it. Far from me to judge your, what do you call it, closed off...
Lake allows you to connect to Lake Edric, you said, and the Moon Lake, correct?
Yes.
If we were to move between these, are there so many of these sea elves that it would prohibit travel, or do you think it's possible to move between them and only encounter a few at a time?
Well, I don't know the passages all that well. There are major tunnels that connect them with branching tunnels that support, homes and whatnot. It's possible you could go through them with only encountering a few, or you might run into a royal parade, so to speak. I doubt they actually hold parades. I would be careful, though. They have some sort of resistance to lightning, and yet are able to cast it from their tridents, causing widespread underwater damage to all who are not they, which tend to be their foes.
Okay, this passage is sounding less and less useful. Is the entire passage underwater as well?
Certainly. That's why most people don't know of it, and why you won't see it marked on any map. But if you could convince them, perhaps, they might happily escort you. They are fey creatures, and as such are innately good, and they've just grown distrustful, I believe, all that time underwater.
Okay. Let's see. We have that. Oh, my final question, maybe. Would you know of any rust creatures naturally inhabit these lands?
Yes.
Which is where I'd like to shepherd a few, or herd a few, I guess. Do you know where these rust monsters may exist?
Well, I listed the most prominent things in the Laconish Highlands, but of course the number of creatures there are so numerous it would be hard to write them all down.
Of course.
I do believe in the mines near Dawngate there are rust monsters. At least there used to be back when they operated iron mines out of Dawngate. They might have had to close them down due to the large numbers of rust monsters there.
Okay. And that mine is located from where on Dawngate? Southeast, southwest, south? Or can you mark the mine on
southwest?
Okay.
Let me just take one quick look over here. Such a shame. Such a shame. Yes. I believe it is near the mouth of the Night River. So follow the Night River from Dawngate southward, and you will find some old mines around there.
Okay.
I believe they have silver and zinc still operating. So look for the closed ones, and there you will find the monsters that corrode.
Look for the... Wait, say that one more time, that last part.
Look for the closed mines, the ones that no longer operate, and there you'll find the monsters that corrode metals with a touch.
Closed mines, gotcha. Okay, sounds good.
Yes.
Okay. My only other question, you mentioned that you had a relationship, or some sort of relationship at some point, with Scoria. You wouldn't happen to know anything about her current lair, would you?
I should know, not her current lair. I was a young elf practicing my wizardry. I decided to take the form of a human for the day, and she was practicing her polymorphing and took the form of a human as well. We met under a new moon. It was a dark night, traveling through the streets of Crownhold, both of us eager to explore. We found each other and could tell instantly that there was something unusual. It was the polymorph that she had used and the wizardry that I had used that we noticed within each other. But at the time, our minds were elsewhere. She was in heat, and I'm always in heat. And,
okay. Nevitz
drew us towards one another.
Nevitz grabs the amulet while he's speaking
tavern.
out of his cloak or whatever, and then extending his hand with the amulet in his cloak, or with the amulet in hand.
Her skin was so hot to the touch.
I'm sure you understand that this object was of great value to us. I trust that if I have questions for you in the future, perhaps I could come back and ask.
What? Yes, of course. Of course. You may always come back here to my home.
Also, if I may so offer, me and my adventuring little crew would probably be happy to work with you.
I find the secret in life is going after the things that want you to go after them. I only approach those people that I feel drawn to, and that also feel drawn to me. I have little need for errands and mission boys and whatnot. I've made my life upon my mannerisms, and I will continue to do so. But I'll keep your little organization in mind should I ever need a gopher.
That sounds fair. I dropped the amulet on the table, I guess, or whatever in front of him.
He seems a little bit lost in his memories.
Yeah. Good luck on your adventures, elf. And Godspeed to all of the beautiful creatures you slay. And then I leave.
Do say hello to any of my children you see along your way.
I'll be sure to keep my eyes out for them.
All right. You can leave his house.
With the map he's given me, I assume, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then those two were finding more information about, like, trapping and capturing rust monsters, I believe.
All right.
True.
Other party members going looking for a totally different type of Beastmaster. You can find an old retired ranger sitting in one of the taverns here in Wickthron Marenta. You've asked around town, and one of the guards mentioned to you that this guy used to be one of the Royal Rangers before he retired. They said like retired in a strange way that made you think like there's more of a story here, but for our purposes, probably fine, right? Whatever. He's no longer working for the queen, and he is hanging out in this tavern on the south side of town. It sits a little bit underground, and there's like a pool of water standing in the middle of it. It's kind of a dark place, a little bit dreary. There's all sorts of animal heads mounted on the walls everywhere. There's some wind chimes that dangle near the front door, so when you open the door, it like jingles the chimes. And there this guy is. His name is Crag, or at least that's what people called him. They told you to call him that. You recognize him by his one eye patch and his long streak of silver hair in this otherwise like salt and peppery mess that he's got on his head, clearly uncombed. He sits whittling a piece of wood with a large Bowie knife and propped his feet up on a nearby table.
Hello. We came here to ask you a few questions about some monsters you may have wandered about in your service.
Yeah? You looking to kill something?
Capture. A rust monster.
Oh, a real hunter, I see. Not one of these Johnny-come-latelys just looking to stand next to a dead creature while someone paints them.
Killing is easy. Capturing and keeping is the hard part.
He sets down his wood and his Bowie knife on the table and looks up from his work to eye the two of you for the first time. Well, I like the sound of a real hunter. Have a seat. Buy me whiskey.
We'll sit.
Sit as well.
And order 4 whiskeys.
4.
2 for him.
All right.
They're pretty cheap, I think, right?
He narrows his one eye at Toki. Looks at you.
What?
You there. You're a shape changer, aren't you? I've seen your kind before. Don't tell me this is the beast you mean to capture.
Okay,
No.
first of all, rude. Second of all, yes, I am a druid that can shapeshift into animals.
That's what I thought. So what are you after, huh?
We'd be looking to capture a rust monster.
All right. Got a dungeon you're building.
An armory I'm getting rid of.
I like the way you think. You know, it's been a long time. I've come to see the world from the monster's point of view. I say we take out all the armories, let people fight with sticks and whatever tools they can improvise themselves. Make it a fair fight.
A real man forges his own weapon.
Whoa.
Real man has his own weapons. He raises his hands before you. Again.
Give me the lowdown on capturing a rust monster. Have you ever done it?
Never tried, but it can be done.
Does it need
Easy
to eat?
enough. Yeah, it needs to eat. It can eat anything. It prefers the corrosion of metal, but it'll eat flesh. It'll eat rock. It'll eat whatever it can get its filthy little mouth on.
What if I...
It's like a little baby, right? It'll eat anything. But you give it a little bit of candy, oh, it goes crazy for it. That's how rust monsters are.
Will it just follow you around?
Greatest source of that candy, wherever it can find it.
What if I had a box? You think I could put one in it? Close the box. Feed it every now and then. Portable armory destroyer, maybe?
Should work. Should work. Creature howls like the Dickens, though. It'll make a hell of a lot of noise. And it'll thrash about, shake your box, maybe even break it open.
So you need a
But
strong
secure
box.
it. Strong box, but with no metal holding it together.
What would you
Not
use?
even a nail head poking out.
Elven wood? What would you use to secure it, you think?
2 ropes. One around its neck, one around its hind legs, with someone in the front, someone in the back. You keep
What about
those
the arms?
ropes taut. You just keep the ropes taut, and you keep a good 10-foot distance on either end. That way, you can walk, and if it bounds forward, the guy in back pulls it back, and if it goes to the side, the guy in the front pulls it back. Gotta have strong men, though. You could put it in a box. You need to make it a good box, and reinforce it, tie it down with some extra ropes. You wouldn't want it getting out nowhere. Those things can cause a real problem.
Maybe a stone box.
Seems a bit heavy, but if you got the strength to carry it, stone box would do good. Real good.
Interesting.
Are they teamable?
He finishes the second whiskey and raises 2 more fingers for the bartender. Tameable? No. Not with a lifetime of work. These are nasty little buggers, driven by hunger, and hunger alone. They got no sense of community, no sense of camaraderie. They're not sociable creatures, you see. They're solitary creatures, predators. They're like cats. Can you ever really tame a cat? No.
I mean,
No.
someone
And even
you could.
No, you can't tame a cat. At best, you have a friendly hunter in your house that you are aligned with, but not quite tamed. You can tame a dog. You can make it roll over, make it beg for treats. You can't tame a cat.
What's Ciara's...
Imagine a rust monster. It's like a cat. But not your little house cat, but like a tiger or a lion.
What's Ciara's
Maybe
rust
you can-
monster? Can druids transform into them?
No.
Only natural creatures.
Natural creatures. What does a natural
Foolish
creature
question.
mean? What does that mean?
Like
bear.
something that could exist in the real world.
Oh, okay, Koibu.
Shady
Yeah.
creatures.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, Miss Toki, do you have any questions for this old salt of a man?
No.
Bartender puts 2 more whiskeys down in front of him. He takes one and sips the other.
Then I guess all we have to do is a quick arm wrestle before we go.
Arm wrestle? Why?
He's talking about his hands and how they're so strong. I want to see if he's right.
Oh yeah,
You
that's a
wanna
great
wrestle my
idea.
arms, little
You
one?
guys should
Am I
arm
taller
wrestle.
than him?
Oh, you're way taller than him. You're way bigger than him. Yeah,
Good.
absolutely. You're also way stronger than him, clearly.
Good. Well, arm wrestle for who pays for the drinks.
It's a deal.
Alrighty. Lenny
All right.
will.
He puts his arm on the
Athletics or
table.
just straight strength?
That's gotta
It's
be
going to be a
strength.
straight strength check. But we're going to do a little something fishy here. Because as you grasp hands,
Cheating.
he kicks you under the table. And then uses your distraction to try and, like, slam it down. So I'm going to need you
Wow.
to make me a
I
con
have-
save.
Con? Really not? Dex?
Yeah, because he's kicking you under the table. He's going to kick you. It's more
Alright.
of, like, can you withstand the... ooh, that's actually good. Now I have to figure out what his CR is, what the difficulty of this roll is. So he is going to have... I'll just roll a stat, and we'll base off that stat. So he needs a 16 to beat you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And he gets a 17. Yeah,
really good.
He kicks you in the knee. You kind of like reflexively startle for a moment, and he slams your hand into the table as you're
Wait.
like taken aback.
Am I able
Clearly
to roll
cheated.
my strength check at disadvantage? And we can see what I get, or do you think he just slams it?
I think he slams it. He's like, you're setting up, and he kicks you as you're unaware, and he's taking advantage of the fact that you're trusting him to do a straightforward match, and
Yeah.
he cheats you.
Well,
He sits back in his chair.
I'll put a gold on the table and not make any mention of it.
As
Beat me
you
fair and
walk
square.
out- As you walk out, he says, you gotta watch out for the monsters. They'll make you look right, and then they'll hit you from the left. Watch out for the ones that hunt in packs. There'll always be more.
Okay,
Nice.
Give him a wave.
cool. I don't like him.
He kicked me.
There's no way you would have lost to him, Lenny.
No.
No way you would have lost to him.
No
He has
way
like
you would've
12
lost
strength.
him.
Jeez.
He's a jerk.
All right.
All right. The
Are we
party
back
can
at the tavern?
reconvene.
Wait, was I able to
Yeah.
do my thing?
Oh, well, why don't we take a break here and we'll chat about your thing during the
Sure, sounds good. Okay.
break. Cool.
We will be back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Of Dice and Men.
Hi, we're
Hello.
back. Welcome us. Thank you for welcoming us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to your own channel.
Thank you.
All right. Next point of action.
Oh, we had
What do
the.
we got?
I need music. That's what's up.
True.
Right. We are back in the tavern.
We are. Good one, Lily.
Sorry.
We're all back in the tavern together.
Yes.
Hi.
Okay, we're just hanging out. I guess we should go back up to our room and we can go over what we found out, and then we can kind of make plans and preparations for what we're gonna do next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're up in our room. I produced the. I would I have gotten like. How do you carry maps? Do you get like a container that you put them in, just a rubber band to
A
hold?
map case.
A map case, yes. Okay, so I produce a map case, I imagine, from my cloak, and then I open it up and I lay out a map before us. So I've gotten from the elf a map of the lands of Mystria. He didn't have much information, unfortunately, about Scoria, but I detailed out and then Nebbit's points to the different forest. We've got labels of the types of monsters found in certain areas. And if we are looking for those rust monsters to set free in Stoughton's armory, I found that there are probably a ton of them located in the closed mines south of Dawngate, the end of the Night River.
I learned that in order to keep a rust monster in, we're gonna need a really strong box. Maybe a stone one, depending on how much it would weigh and how much a rust monster weighs. Maybe very, very strong wood would work, but it can't be metal.
Okay, a wooden box or an iron box. Are you able to fit multiple of these inside your bag of holding?
Not iron, stone. Iron you would eat through.
Or sorry, not iron. A strong stone or a strong wooden box.
I could definitely fit one or two.
How do you know how quickly they consume metal? If we were to unleash two in an armory, would they fill themselves and fall into a stupor? Is that like a nap?
I did not ask.
How much metal does one rust monster eat?
Yeah, it seems
At
like
a
it'd be pretty
time.
important to find out, right, Lenny?
Well, you know I don't have the greatest brain, and Toki was there as well.
Toki, do you know how much metal
And a rust monster eat?
my watch is Toki racks her brain, accessing a seemingly universal encyclopedic knowledge of... I guess maybe we should find out how often this armory is attended to. Maybe it's possible that if we set a few of these monsters free in the back of the armory, maybe they won't be discovered for some number of days.
I don't know if I could carry a few. The bag only holds 250.
Correct.
We'll say the box is...
How much does a rust monster weigh?
No, how would anybody know, really?
Well, the hunter guy you talked to should know, right?
Obviously not.
Did you ask him?
Yes.
And what did he say?
He said it weighs as much as a rust monster weighs.
Huh. Well, Toki, you're not able to spawn any of these creatures into existence or anything, are you?
No. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of work even just getting one to the
Yeah, perhaps it might just be easier to dump the blades into the ocean, or into the canal next to Stoughton.
Not. I don't think we're going to be able to move that many blades outside of the armory.
I think moving weapons from the armory to the canal is probably going to be easier than moving rust monsters from the mines to Stoughton, no?
No, because we put we put one monster into our bag of holding and then move it in like that. You just hope one does the job. We could go ask again, how much can a rust monster eat?
Yeah, maybe that would be good to find out, because I don't think a single rust monster is going to be able to devour armories full of weapons, no?
Don't know.
Okay, perhaps we can do that tomorrow. Are there any other preparations we need to make before? Oh, we should consider trying to recruit a fourth, maybe.
Yes.
We seem to have trouble dealing with creatures at range right now. We don't have much to do with that. I would feel safer having some sort of sorcerer or wizard with our party. I feel like it would round us out pretty well.
And then they can fireball the armor.
Well, I don't know if fire would do much to metal. The fire that's produced from a fireball isn't in the thousands of degrees or whatever would be necessary to forge metal, is it?
Or melt metal?
It would probably not be hot enough to melt all of the weapons
Mm-hmm.
in one go. Maybe if you can sustain that fireball over time, but not in one quick blast.
Oh, wait a second. When you attack... we know this because we've encountered at least one rust monster in the past. If you attack a rust monster, just by virtue of hitting it, the blade can be damaged, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we could just... if we get one rust monster in there, we could just throw all the swords at it until they rust, theoretically, right? Is there a problem with this?
No, there's no problem. I'm just trying to find the balance between answering your questions and speeding the game along.
Yeah, of course.
If you put a rust monster in the armory, it probably won't eat all the metal, but it will decay all the metal and make it worthless and useless. Probably pretty fast. Maybe the course of like a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
So you just get a rust monster there and lock it in overnight.
Then
That's
we're
gonna
done.
fuck your uncle.
Fucking A. Okay, cool. That's good.
Yeah, it might not eat it all, but it'll ruin it all.
We just need to make sure that they weigh less than like 200 pounds then. Correct? So that we can fit one inside a box.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys agree with me on the wizard part?
Yes.
Yes, no, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Is there then tomorrow we ought to go through and I don't know where we would recruit a wizard of this power, but we ought to try to find a wizard that can come with us, that'd be willing to come with us on such an adventure. But otherwise, I think we should probably get some basic supplies. We definitely need to find some rope, maybe some torches. Anything else?
How are we gonna recruit the wizard? Are we just gonna have signs?
Well, I'm not sure. How would we go about finding a wizard like this?
Maybe your elf friend would know. He's a wizard himself. He probably
Kind
has a lot of
of,
kids.
but I don't think he'd know where I could find a spare wizard. He doesn't seem very interested in a creature unless he can fuck it, so... not
Well, he has
entirely-
lots of kids, maybe.
He does, but I don't know... I mean, I don't really want to bother him with unnecessary questions or questions I don't feel he'd have the answer to. I don't want to wear my welcome thin there, but I don't think he would know any more than any other noble, like, about the presence of wizards here. We'd probably have to find a wizard that's not very well established, maybe that's somewhat of a rogue, that would be willing to go on an adventure like this, yeah?
We could ask, remember we have to go talk to that guy about the treachery
McGarry.
plans. He might know a wizard.
McGarry might,
could come
actually.
along.
Sure. Or maybe he'll know of maybe some wizard that's been up to trouble or something. Yeah, we could do that for sure. Anything else you can think of that we might need besides rope and torches?
Nothing comes to mind right now.
Not really.
Oh, we need to get the box manufactured.
Oh, true. We should get the
A
box
way to
menu.
transport the rest.
We need a what? Oh, a way to
Yeah,
transport
just
the monster. Yeah.
Transport it, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
We need a way to sedate the rust monster as well, to put it in the box.
Well, we can just knock it out, right? I mean, we've killed enough things.
Knocking things out with our weaponry is very hard to knock something out that way, right?
How? You just knock it out, put it in the box. If it can't get out of the box, just set it free in the armory.
If I have my sword right here, how am I going to knock you out if I use it? I can't just punch a rust monster. It's not going to do much damage.
You just smack me with the flat end of the sword. What do you mean?
Not going to do much damage.
Yeah, of course we will. It's just a single rust monster. Look at us, Lenny.
How are you going to do any damage to the sword?
The
Or to
same
the
way.
rust monster?
Knock it out with the flat end of the sword or stab it in a spot where I don't think it'll kill it.
So we're going to stab the rust monster that undoes metal weaponry with our swords that are metal.
Oh, I understand, Lenny. So magical items like these that are imbued with the wisdom of wizards shouldn't decay if we attack a rusting creature with them. We should be okay.
You know that for a fact?
Yeah, of course I do. They're magical objects. It's not so easy to wither a magical object.
Okay.
This is true, right, Koibu? Magical swords don't... I'm almost positive this is true. Magical swords don't damage when you hit metallic... Or, I'm sorry, like stone with them, and they don't get damaged by rust creatures. I know this is true.
Generally, yeah. That's, there are always exceptions to the rule, and
sure,
if you
of course, yeah.
whack your magical sword against a stone over and over and over again, you will dull or break it.
Yeah.
I think stone is different than a rust monster, but... I don't know.
Rust monsters, whether they work on magical weapons or not, is one of those great questions to ponder. Oh. Because who in their right mind would ever even test a magical weapon against a rust monster on the off chance that they're wrong and it decays it and you ruin the magic weapon, right? So the body of evidence supporting or rejecting that theory is slim to none.
Well, it seems like there must be rust monsters that trouble some estate or something somewhere. And if it was possible that, like, you could slay a monster like that without damaging your weapons, that a magical weapon would be of great use to somebody hunting those monsters. So if it did work, news of it working would travel very quickly, I would imagine.
Well, I think you know one person who can answer this question for you.
McGarry?
Yeah, the guy
I was going to say the guy before. What was his name?
The elven guy? Jean-Pierre?
Gruff?
Oh, the hunter guy.
Bronze?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We can ask the hunter guy a couple of questions then about it, right? Yeah?
Yeah. Crag? I think that was his name.
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah, okay, we can go tomorrow and ask some questions then. Yeah? Anything else?
Sure.
No.
Okay.
Before we set out and go off to do this sort of thing, I want to check in with the party. You've been given some pretty terrifying missions, right? Your job is to go investigate Scoria, go behind enemy lines into the middle of a war zone and sabotage supplies. These are the sorts of missions that are a little bit different sort of danger than you're typically dealing with. Not so much just survive while you do this thing, but antagonize huge forces that you have no chance of overcoming directly in a fight. And so I want to talk with Toki for a moment here. You kind of wanted to get away from the nobility, from the normal life, and get out into the woods and be a druid, and then you kind of came back to work with Voa because you wanted a little bit of integration. Is this too much integration? Is this the life that you tried to escape?
I think anything's better than the life I used to have. Toki just wants to be...
Which life you used to have?
Or, her past nobility. She found little purpose in that kind of life, right? So she set out, became a druid, joined a detective agency, met these people, engaged in dangerous quests, all to find some kind of purpose. She also wants to be included in any friend group.
So you're comfortable with what has been asked of you? And what you are all planning on doing?
She thinks the alternative is boring.
So you would seek excitement at the risk of death?
What is death, Neil? It's just a part of life.
All right.
She's
And
not
Lenny,
scared of death.
No?
No,
you're not scared of death?
Toki has gone through some shit, including being help captain. Sort of shit,
Yeah. All right. So you feel comfortable with all of this then?
Yes.
And Lenny, you're just, a poor man from a poor family out in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden, 6 months after you join up with this crew of people, you find yourself talking about dealing with dragons. There's talking parrots. There's weird guys that kick you in the nuts when you're trying to arm wrestle.
Well, you said leg before.
Leg, nuts. The details aren't important here.
Okay.
What does Lenny think about this huge change that's overcome his life?
Lenny's chill with it. Overall, he's just, he can become a noble now, which would bring his family great honor. So he's kind of working towards that.
Are you at all concerned that you might die on this journey and your family won't know of any of the great things that you've done? You haven't seen them since you met up with Voa.
Lenny was always a loner. He's just out adventuring. He welcomes death.
Jesus.
So you're not concerned that if you go off on this adventure and die in some mine somewhere, that your family will just think of you as like that loner who walked away and just never came back? There's no... Because you mentioned bringing pride and honor to your family.
Yeah.
So is there any desire to let them know what you've done?
Not really, no.
To make them proud? No?
He was just in a barbarian tribe. He'll come back when his honor is, found. Not before.
All right. Okay. Nevitz, the man who hates the family, wants revenge against them, but has been sort of working with them for a while, even making some friends within them, one might say. Is this what you thought you would be doing?
I mean, originally Nevitz really obviously had a personal vendetta against them, but he's found so much purpose and excitement in kind of doing these side adventures that he's kind of not really focused on that as much. This seems to have taken more of his attention. And then as a result of that, the continuing attentions of these types of adventures are more fulfilling than just hitting a certain group of people.
Okay. This seems to be more in his vein of interest. Nevitz seems more interested in doing this next mission than he has in any of the ones that have come before it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it feels important and purposeful and meaningful now. Yeah. Which a little halfling probably spends a lot of his time trying to find his purpose and meaning.
Would you say you found meaning in life now?
Well, not yet. But I mean,
okay.
Changing the outcome of a war or something, yeah, would be a good part of the path there, yeah.
All right. Well, because when you set out and start going behind those enemy lines, that might be the last time you see your people, you see these lands for a long time, or the last time ever even. So I want to make sure that we've wrapped up all of our things back home before we go out. So back around to Toki again. You haven't seen your family in a long time. You momentarily put a huge debt upon their shoulders, and then you quickly cleared it. Are you concerned at all that you might not see them again?
Toki's been away from her family for so long. At this point, does it even matter? I feel like they're very separate now.
I see. The blood of battle is thicker than the water of the womb, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think this is a chance for her to do something that is more impactful,
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay. Well then, let's get these last few questions out of the way, and let's begin the...
Before we all head off to sleep tonight, Nevitz approaches Toki in the room. Nevitz kind of looks to the ground and he says, "Listen, Toki, I'm sorry that you lost your periapt earlier. Obviously, I know that I come off as very harsh towards a lot of you guys, but I really do appreciate all of the traveling that we've done together. I think that Banshee probably would have killed us back there if it weren't for you and Daft saving us. So I want you to know that I really do appreciate that."
Are Toki and Nevitz the same height?
I think about... I might be a little shorter. Nevitz
you?
is quite short, yeah.
What are you, 2 what?
Well, what are you? You're 3 something, right?
3'5"?
Well, if I'm 2 anything, then I'm going to be a bit shorter, right?
Alright, Toki looks down upon Nevitz.
Very slightly.
Very slightly. It's fine. I just felt a little upset because I kind of felt more included at that point, and it was just taken away. That's all.
Nevitz nods his hand. When you cast spells, don't you guys need some sort of object to focus this through?
Yes, a druidic. I can't pronounce it. The focus thingy. Druidic focus or something like that. Yeah.
Nevitz removes from his cloak a little pouch, and he hands it to Toki. Maybe something like this can help you in the future. And then Nevitz is like very red, and then turns around and he says, "You're a very valued member of the party, Toki. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for stealing your parry up. Hopefully this makes up for it." And then Nevitz leaves the room.
Toki stands there and, a small smile comes onto her face and she feels good. That was very sweet. Very, very out of character and very sweet. Yeah. Ooh. Simpin'.
Simpin'. Yep, simpin' hard.
Cringe.
All right. The next day comes along. It's time to get the answers to your last few questions. An unusual rain settles down over the town in the middle of summer. We are now at... I think you've spent a couple days in town, so today will be the 30th of July. A little bit of waterfalls from the sky. The new moon is coming soon. You head back to that same tavern on the south side of town. You find Grack, or whatever his name was.
Crag.
Before, I want to open the little bag he gave me.
Oh, yeah. You didn't open? Oh, yeah.
Inside the bag is a beautiful ornate necklace that has a sapphire embedded in the middle, and then across there's like an engraving on like the band that goes around the necklace of like little kind of like animals, like druidic things or whatever. It's a very, very, very pretty necklace because all 500 gold from that piece of fine jewelry that I had was basically put towards it.
Is that what you're doing? Oh, Steven!
That's a Nevitz. That's a Nevitz action. That's a Nevitz thing. That's a Nevitz thing. Don't separate it.
Oh
yeah.
My God. I'm so happy. Toki, really happy. Okay.
What did you get for me, Nevitz?
I'm already sleeping. We're going to find Graf the next day, right?
That's so cute. Ah, shit, I spilled water everywhere. Can I clean up for a second? I got really excited.
Yeah, go for it. We're just asking questions about rust monsters.
Kind of just spilled water. It's just...
We will find Crag.
All right, you find Crag. He's back in the same tavern, slightly sunken underground. He's the only one left in here. It's like filling up with water a little bit, and yet he remains in the tavern, feet kicked up on a table, carving at the wood in his hands. The bartender's still behind on the other side of the table, also not minding the water. Gives you a wave as you enter in. The wind chimes jingle. Crag doesn't look up from his carving. The bartender calls across the room with little water dripping in from the boards above it. What do you all need?
We have a few more questions, Crag. I ordered 2 drinks.
Ignore the bartender completely. Crag throws a look from his one good eye at you and then back to his work. Aye? And I see you brought yourself another friend.
Some drinks. Yes, this is the brains behind the operation.
We're all the brains here, Crag. I just had a couple questions that I think my friends here might have forgotten to ask, though. Can I go ahead and ask you a couple questions?
Sure. Buy me a couple of drinks. You can ask
I'll
me
order
whatever
the
you
drinks.
Want.
Sure. You order some drinks.
Yeah, you already did, but he's like got one eye and he's looking at his carving. His peripheral vision's really shitty.
Yeah, of course you can have drinks. Rust monsters. How much do these creatures weigh, do you think? A full-size adult, full-bodied rust monster.
A big one will get up around 200 pounds.
Holy shit.
Little tyke, 100 or so.
100 or so pounds for a little guy. Could probably fit it in a 2x4. 2x4 box. Should fit just fine.
If you can knock it out, and you can touch it for too long without hurting your fingers, yeah, you could do it that way.
Why would it hurt your fingers to touch it? Are we just assuming the normal spiky things, or is there some special property of a rust monster we should be aware of?
That's one of them there special properties of a rust monster you should be aware of. You see, the rust monster's antenna, if they touch metal, it'll rust metal. All sorts of metal. Hell, even non-metallic weapons and magical items coming in contact with it have a chance to decay at their touch. So it makes them so dangerous.
Even a magical weapon might even suffer some decay encountering a rust monster?
Oh, certainly. Absolutely. Their magic penetrates all. They're the great equalizer, rust monsters.
What's the
you
radius?
See a blooming knight up there with a +5 magic sword, and you see a rust monster disintegrate the thing before its very eyes, and then the knight weeps himself to death.
And what's the distance you'd have to stay from a rust monster to prevent some sort of contamination from happening?
Just don't touch it.
If I hover a sword right above it, is it going to decay in its presence, or?
Not until the antenna or its hide touches it. Or its tail. Oh, the antenna and the tail are the most difficult. The hide is slightly better.
Okay.
Nevitz, we could get some magic, or not magic, we could get some wood bats or something and beat it down that way.
We have our wonderful druid here, and we'll find a wizard. I'm sure we're able to take this thing out with magic, knock it out, bring it in. Should be fun. Yeah?
The greatest weakness to a rust monster is its tiny little brain. They're dumb as bricks.
True.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I guess all that's left is us to do our arm wrestling contest again. For the drinks.
I already taught you the lesson you needed to learn.
You won't play me in a fair game then?
He looks up at you with his one good eye and he says, "The secrets to fighting monsters are to know your own limits and never take on something bigger than you're really willing to handle. And you big lad, you're bigger than I can handle. So no, I won't take you."
All right.
You would have beaten him, Lenny. Like, 1,000%.
Of course he would have beaten me.
Not even a question.
He would have beaten the crap out of me. That's why I had to kick him in the knee.
At least he acknowledges that, you know?
Well, there's no reason why, if one would have come across any sort of magical bag or something, that this rust monster should damage the bag, no? As long assuming the bag isn't...
bag.
Yeah, assuming it's not made of metal or anything, right?
The only magic bags I know about are bags of holding. And this bloke over here said he wanted to put a rust monster in an armory. Are you telling me you're gonna hide a rust monster away from sight in extra-dimensional space and spring it on some unsuspecting group of people in their armory to destroy all their gear?
Brilliant idea, isn't it?
That sounds like an insane quandary that you'd be in.
I'm just putting one and one together.
Putting one and one together. It seems like you're adding a few more things in there. Perhaps we just want to play a prank on a friend. You ask a lot of questions for a man who hunts monsters, though. But, okay.
But, like, hypothetically, what would happen? Hypothetically, we're just having fun.
He thinks to himself. What's your bag made of? Is it leather?
Yeah.
Or is it silk?
I think it's leather. Wait, is it silk? The bag of holding? Silk. Yeah, it's silk.
Should probably be fine then.
Okay, sounds good.
Should probably be fine. Just make sure its little claws and teeth stay away from everything. Don't let it rip open the bag. And before you go, tell me, whose armory are you wrecking?
What concern is it to you, old man?
I've got a little bit of money on the outcome of the war.
Well, I don't fancy we'd be in here asking you for help on how to commit treason, so you can rest assured that the armory doesn't reside in the lands of Drekus. I promise you that.
Rest assured.
I don't... All right.
If you're not betting on us, you might want to change your bets.
Oh, no. You see, that's what you do. You bet against your own country, so that way if you lose, you win. And if you win anyway. You know? You hedge your bets. You plan out your future so it'll be secure no matter what.
As he takes a sip, I would like to
short the housing market.
Like to smack his back and say, you might want to change your bets.
Okay.
Okay.
He acknowledges your smack with a
Good.
and like a nod through his patched eye at you.
Can we buy
He winks at you. It's hard to tell if it's a blink or a wink when you've only got one eye.
True.
We want to get real quickly then. We would just want to get a case made, and then we also want to buy like 200 feet of silken rope. Can we do this?
Absolutely.
4 bundles of 50
you want like
feet.
a rust monster case made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a case that will just barely fit in your bag of holding that you could then squish a rust monster in?
Small rust monster, yeah.
Yeah, these things can be done. No problem. There are plenty of woodworkers here in town. We don't even have to RP it.
Can we do a
silk
stone?
rope is 20 gold to the 50 feet. So you said 200 feet?
Yep, so 80
so
gold.
we're looking at 80 gold there. And then drinks, rooms, bribes, yada, yada, yada. Why don't we just chuck out 100 gold altogether? And that'll be the cost of all of this in the town.
Does somebody have 100 gold that they have on their sheet?
I don't have
I
100
have
cash.
0.
Can we convert like
One of these?
one of the gems? Can we sell this at a gem place for
Yeah.
ideally 500 gold?
So here, what we're going to do is we are going to see at what value you can sell the gem. We're just going to make a roll, and then you will sell it at that value.
Is it always going to be less, or could it be higher?
No, it's going to be a D something.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like somewhere. So it'll be you can get it for.
And it's fine jewelry, not gems specifically. It's probably both. I don't know if that matters at all.
Right. For our purposes, it's going to be the same right now.
Got it.
It'll be a D100 plus... No, a D90 plus 50, so it'll be like 51% of the price through 140% of the price. So you're probably going to lose a little bit of money, but you might make some money.
1D90 plus 50?
1D90 plus 50. Yeah.
Don't fuck it up. Yeah, you sure you want to roll this?
84?
You fucked us.
84% of 500.
Not bad.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, 420.
Okay. So add 420 to your sheet, and then add
and I'm removing
100. So 320. And then add 200 feet of silken rope. So silken rope should have the same tolerance as heavy rope, but it weighs as much as light rope.
Correct, I did it.
Cool.
We have 4 bundles of 50-foot silk rope.
Sounds good. And then also like 10 torches, unlit torches.
Okay.
Yep.
What are we going to
all
light them
that
with?
can be chucked in for your same
Sure.
shit. It's all good.
What are we going to what? Light them with?
Yeah, does anybody have a flint and tinder box?
Buy a
We can
flint
buy
and
one.
tinder
I
box.
just wanna
Yep.
make-
Go ahead and add it to your sheet. Flint and tinder box.
Okay. Should be good.
Anything else that we're forgetting? Do we need rations for this, or can we reasonably hunt near rivers and stuff on our way down?
Togi has good berries.
Oh yeah, they're good.
You're going to want some form of easy food because you'll be behind enemy lines and you're going to want to be able to move quickly without having to like hunt for your food.
You still have-
Berries.
Okay.
Good berries will solve all your problems.
Is that a cantrip or a spell?
It is a spell, but it makes 10 berries with 1.
Wait, but it requires a spell slot,
Level 1 spell slot.
and that regenerates on a long rest.
I think for her it was short. I can't remember though.
Because
No,
my
this is
understanding is that a good berry goes bad after 1 day. Is that not
Really?
true? You read or maybe you should read the spell.
Yeah, loses their potency if they have not been consumed within 24 hours of the casting of the spell.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is not adequate for long-term food.
Well, you got a lot of spell slots. If you're there for a week, all you need is 7 spell slots to eat for 7 days.
How many
Yeah,
spell
no.
slots do you have?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I have 10, but then like
Holy shit.
then I will. Like I have other cool spells to use, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe grab some rations. It's 2 pounds per person per day for food.
That's so
in terms of
much.
weight.
Yeah. It's
Well, yeah, but
weighs
that's
a
about
lot.
how much a
Okay,
person eats a day. Is
how
about
about-
2 pounds of shit.
2 pounds of food per day?
Yeah.
Shouldn't a person be eating like about 80% of a pound? If we consume about
No.
2,000 calories a day of food, that really weighs 2 pounds?
If you total up the weight of all the things you eat in a day, it should come out to be around 2 pounds ish.
Most humans eat between 3 to 5 pounds per day. But then like, Nevitz is a halfling, right?
True. Oh, and you're a dwarf.
There's weird situations where like halfling armor weighs the same as like full person armor. There's some like weird ass rules that we just abide by for the simplification. Otherwise, we have to like, if halflings eat this much and then their armor makes this, it just gets way too fucking complicated. Then we have to adjust strength scores. And
we understand. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, go ahead. What, Lily?
What if like you have like little, you know, energy bars or some shit?
Yeah, then it's about 2 pounds.
Of that?
Well, how much does a Cliff Bar weigh?
Calorically dense bar.
I mean, where are we gonna get calorically dense bars in?
Yeah, because it's a difference between like super processed food or unprocessed food, and there's probably not much food processing that goes on.
2.4 ounces for a Cliff Bar, right?
Yeah, they don't have Soylent in this world, do they? No, okay. On a fighter I had a while ago, I had a background trait that gave me the ability to reliably find food every day. I don't have that here. I don't think there's a shortcut for this. We just have to have rations.
Or we can like split some spell slots with the rations.
Maybe, yeah. Technically, good berries should feed us for 2 days, right? Like if we eat at the end of the day, you can cast it at the end of the day.
Yes.
And then we eat, and then we eat at the beginning of the next.
Yeah.
How much does 50 feet of silken rope weigh, Koibu? Because I'm getting all the fucking shit sorted.
Are you serious, Moot?
Yeah, if I'm gonna have to start wearing that shit. 5 pounds. Okay, so
for 50 feet.
Yep.
And then I have the weight tolerance listed for silk rope as 600 pounds.
Yep. That's correct.
Okay.
The disappearing powder and the fire resistant scroll were negligent weight.
Yeah.
Or do we have a real weight for them?
Negligent.
And the potions were 1 pound each.
Yes.
The ball pairings are 1 pound, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
How much does 10 torches weigh?
10 pounds.
Okay. And the flint tinder is negligent?
It's a box with flint and tinder and everything. It'll weigh 1 pound.
Okay. The fine jewelry, 18 of them. Can you give me the weight on that?
I have it listed
Probably
as point.
A pound for all 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 pound.
I was gonna say like 1/10 of a pound or 1/5 of a pound or a 20th of a pound for each one. So if we'll just throw it all together in a 1 pound sack, that's fine.
Okay, currently our bag of holding is holding 49 pounds.
Easy. 201 pounds left. Wait, do you have rations in there yet or no?
No. How many rations are we getting?
Fuck. So 1 ration is 1 pound, you said, or 2 pounds?
1 ration is 2 pound.
So we need 4 rations per day. So if we wanted to survive for a week, that would be 28 rations, which would be 56 pounds. Should still be enough for the creature. We could do that. That's fine.
So 28, and we have rations for a week, and then if we need, we can use Toki's shit, correct?
Correct.
No, other way.
Oh,
2
yeah,
pounds
sorry.
There,
1.
20 on the side.
Yeah.
There you go.
So currently we have 105 in our weight, and we'll have like 140 to work with.
Okay, 145. Okay, that's fine.
I could always take like a shield out.
Sure.
Stuff,
we just need to find like a child, a small thing or whatever. The full-bodied ones were 200 pounds. The child one should be around 100. So. Wait, yeah. If Toki turns into like a cow, can we milk her?
Well, Toki, are you
milkable?
Presently lactating?
Aren't cows always, or do they not? Oh no, they've got to be fed hormones to keep them artificially like
they just pump them full of babies all the time so that they're constantly in the lactating phase.
If she turns into a chicken, can she lay eggs for us?
It takes a time. It's not like a chicken just snaps its fingers and produces an egg, you know?
Interesting, gotcha. Oh.
What if I'm a cow and then they take a bit of my flesh and eat it?
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we've gone over these before. I think we decided not to because it gets a little...
That's a weird question.
But if they did, we'd have unlimited food because then I turn back into a human. Yeah, I'd be wounded, but then I can take a short rest. So like every short rest, they could eat my flesh and get food. You know what? You're right. This is weird. Let's move on.
All right. Let's go. Okay, I think all we really have left to do then is go to the McGarry household and chat. But we might want to do that next episode.
No, let's do it now so that the way our next episode will be setting off.
Okay.
Let's get all the pieces behind us.
Yeah.
All
Sounds good.
You head to the McGarry household. A servant recognizes you as the people who came here before and hurries over to the gate, opening it for you and motioning you inside the house. Mr. McGarry is there, Lord McGarry. He's walking through the house with his wife as you guys come into the front door, and he sees you, sends his wife on, and walks over to you guys. You'll notice the bodyguard is still following him around, same guy as before. He looks at you all. Is it time? Are you ready to set out?
We believe so. We have a couple questions we could ask. One small, one big. The first question, I guess we'll get the big one out of the way. As I'm sure you've noticed, we're down a member. The request you've made of us is quite a large one, and the owner of our small organization decided that he'd rather go back to the life of being a businessman than a state-sponsored spy, which I believe is fair. Now, we have a few weaknesses in our party. We'd like to shore up with a fourth member if we could. You wouldn't happen to know of any irresponsible renegade wizards or sorcerers that might be about that would be looking to go on this type of journey? Clearly, we're not going to be able to tap into a wizard at an estate or one with a comfy court job. We're going to need to find somebody that's gotten in trouble in the past for irresponsible use of magic, somebody that's restless. I mean, I'm sure you know what you're asking of us, so you know the type we'd be looking for.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned to you earlier that we are looking... You're not the only people we've sent on this mission.
Mm-hmm.
We expect most of you to fail, some of you to succeed in some to succeed in others. There's a bloke coming by tomorrow. Doesn't know why he's coming here. I'm going to propose the same thing to him that I proposed to you. Maybe he'll want to join up with you. Maybe he'll want to do it on his own. We'll have to ask him. But he's a spellcaster of sorts. Might be able to help you out. It's up to him. But I'll put you in touch.
Okay, that sounds good. Second final question, I guess the only thing I can think of is, in terms of us getting into these lands, are we expected to just march northeast of Ralwick on our own, or do we get any type of ship that's going to drop us off anywhere close by? Is there any kind of transportation that can be arranged for us?
I was hoping you would have your own solution to those problems. We can't really afford to be losing any ships at this time, and war notions what they are. Any sort of large vessel getting close would be spotted, sunk, questioned at the least. We figured you brave people are the ones that know how to get in and get out through enemy lines. The bridge at Bridgegate is down, so you can cross at Bontheris, or perhaps find a way over the Draken Ridge, or maybe find your own way across the River Vodin or the Silver River or something.
Okay. Wait, where is this? The Silver Odin? Wait, can you say that again?
Silver River.
Oh, up there.
Yeah, Silver and Gold rivers would need to be crossed. Or maybe find some way over the Draken Ridge and in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nasty place to go.
This road, or I'm sorry, the River Vodan, does that separate Drekis from Mystria?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha, that's the separator. Okay.
The bridge at Old Voden's gone. The bridge at Bridgegate is gone.
Okay. Once we're across into the lands of Mystria, do we have any way of communicating with you or anybody in command back at Drekis? Or are we essentially on our own until we make it back to these lands?
You'll be on your own. And frustratingly enough, if any of our other agents succeed, you may come to a mission only to find it completed already. Or perhaps somebody else trying to sabotage it right alongside you. So be careful for other saboteurs. They might actually be allies in hiding.
You wouldn't happen to have given any sort of coded language that we could use to identify ourselves to another of these type if we ran across them, have you?
He shakes his head. No, we considered it, but we were worried that should someone fall into the hands of the enemy, it could be used against us. Better to send off multiple independent agents to complete their tasks. And I should also let you know the others have a few tasks I haven't given you as well. Just in case you are captured and interrogated. Our plans are far more elaborate than what you know.
That's fair. Okay, well, I don't believe I have any other questions. Unless any of my party members do, I believe we should be ready to take off.
What are the words?
Here's the thing that we want to let them know. The idea is to get them to pull their forces back. So we are planning, we would like you to slip to the enemy general this bit of information. That we, Drekis, have ships that are coming into the Grand Canal loaded with sailors and soldiers. These ships will be made invisible for the approach by our small contingent of skilled spellcasters. They will sail through the Grand Canal, past the rapids, and right up to the walls at the Muckwood. Up to the canals at Muckwood. Scroll up. There, we will either climb or jump or magic our way to the tops of the cliffs, dump down long rope ladders that stretch to the ships below, where our people will climb up, and then we will siege Slagmire from the inside, where they least expect it. That will give us a toehold, and those same ships can then come and reinforce the troops at Slagmire, and they will have a war on two fronts. The second part of the information is that the troop buildup in Bontheris is false. That the ballistas in the woods are partially functional, some of them fully functional, some of them strictly decorative, and that there are not enough soldiers to actually man them. Hopefully, that will get that bitch Scoria to fly overhead, where our massive artillery barrage waiting in the woods below can be used to bring her down. So the idea is that Bontheris is falsely reinforced, and the attack is imminent at Slagmire through the Muckwood.
That's fair.
We want to delay them. Time is on our side here. Get them split in different directions. Have them pull forces back so we can hit them in the front.
Okay.
Do you think it'd be useful information, Nevitz, to tell him about what you learned? Did you tell us about the lake stuff at all, or no?
No. I imagine I would have shared it back at our hotel.
Do you think it'd be useful to tell them about the Sun Lake?
I don't think underwater passages inland are of much concern right now to Drekis, so.
Okay, then.
Okay, well, I believe if that's all you have for us, we'll return tomorrow to see what type of wizard you scrounged up for us.
Well, I can't promise he'll be an amicable fellow. I haven't met him myself yet, but our sources have indicated he'll fit in well with this sort of mentality. Maybe not with your people.
Okay.
Your friend.
Come round tomorrow evening, then?
Yeah, sounds good.
Good.
Can we go visit the historian again? See if she has any update?
Absolutely. Yes, it has only been, I think,
about a week.
4 days. So she does not have any information for you. She says that she has sent out letters to her friend sages in Solwick and Bondundasir and Pernissus. And they are kind of sorting through local histories to see if anything matches the description of this woman, and will report back.
Hit dice only come back on a long rest, correct?
No, you get one back on a
one
short.
per short rest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But by the time from the time you met the woman till now has been a week, so you should have all your hit dice back. And you've been in town for 4 days now. It'll be 5 by tomorrow. We can just call that a long rest, so you guys can have all your resources.
Okay.
It feels like the save point before the final boss.
Almost.
Except there is no saving. And there is no undoing.
If we think of anything we need to buy over the week, off or whatever,
Totally.
Until Thursday, just DM you. Okay.
Yeah. Just send me anything that you might want.
Can you have more than two? I mean, can you have more than one druidic focus?
Sure. You only need one at a time, but you can own as many as you would like.
Okay.
There's no bonus to them, but keep them all.
Got it.
Okay, and with that, I think we'll end our session for today. It's getting dicey.
Good one, because it's called of Dice and Men.
It's really funny.
Nice one,
I like
Koibu.
that one.
Good one, Koibu.
Koibu, you know what, Koibu? Take inspiration for that.
It.
Take inspiration for that, Koibu. It was great.
Oh, wow. Is this what it feels like to be on the other side of the table?
Okay.
Pity inspirations.
The pity inspirations. Okay, I guess we'll all be back next week, unless nobody's traveling anywhere, so... Yeah?
And we might have another player next week.
Maybe, we'll see.
New friend.
Yeah, well, a new player. I don't know if he'll be a friend yet. We'll find out. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, Jesus. Mouton.
Moutonmerch.com.
LilyPichu.
LilyPichu.
I think if you go to dggstore.com, I think I have merchandise there now. Go buy everything, you losers. Thank you. And then, Koibu, what's your next campaign that you're doing?
Saturday is Shenanigans, and Sunday is our Hardcore Heroes Q&A wrap-up. If you've been following that storyline at all, Sunday is the day that we will answer whatever questions you want for our players, and I will probably avoid answering most questions about the world.
Damn.
Yeah, just so your expectations are managed.
Okay. All right, well, hey, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be back next week. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Which anime was that, Lily?
Goblin Slayer.
Wow, what did they do in that one?
Wait, yeah, what'd they do in that one?
Tell us about goblins.
Yeah, wait.